Jennifer stared at the photo on her phone for a long time, her mind racing. Rose Hartwell, her father's younger sister, the aunt who'd vanished from family history when Jennifer was just 5 years old. Jennifer's father had passed away 10 years ago from a sudden heart attack. Her mother had died 2 years before that from Alzheimer's. Her grandparents had been gone for over 15 years. There was no one left to ask about Rose, no one left who could confirm what Jennifer's instincts were screaming at her, except Rose herself. Jennifer saved the photo and stood up, her decision made. She had to know the truth, and more importantly, Rose deserved to know that she wasn't as alone in the world as she thought. She found Rose in her hospital room, sitting up in bed, looking stronger than she had a week ago. The steroids were working. Color had returned to her face and her breathing was easier. Jasmine was there too, sitting in the chair beside the bed, doing homework that the hospital's child life specialist had provided. "Dr. Hartwell," Jasmine looked up with a bright smile. "Look, Grandma's doing so much better." "I can see that," Jennifer said, smiling back. "Rose, you're looking good. How are you feeling?" "Like I might actually live to see these kids grow up," Rose said, her voice stronger than it had been. "I can't thank you enough, Dr. Hartwell. You saved my life. You saved all of us." "Actually, I need to talk to you about something," Jennifer said. "Jasmine, honey, would you mind giving your grandmother and me a few minutes alone? There's a playroom down the hall with books and games. Would you like to check it out?" Jasmine looked between Jennifer and Rose, her perceptive eyes narrowing slightly. "Is everything okay? Is Grandma's sickness back?" No, nothing like that," Jennifer assured her. "Your grandmother is doing great. I just need to discuss some personal matters with her. Adult stuff, boring medical history questions." Jasmine didn't look entirely convinced, but she nodded. "Okay, but you promise Grandma's okay?" "I promise." After Jasmine left, Rose studied Jennifer carefully. "What's this about, doctor? You look nervous." Jennifer pulled the chair closer to the bed and sat down. "Rose, I need to ask you something personal. Your maiden name was Hartwell, correct?" Rose's expression shifted, becoming guarded. "Yes, why?" "Were you born in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1970? "Yes." Rose's voice was quiet now, wary. "How do you know that?" Jennifer pulled out her phone and opened the family photo. She turned the screen toward Rose. "Is this you?" Rose took the phone with trembling hands. She stared at the photo for a long moment, her eyes filling with tears. "Where did you get this?" "It's from my family's photo album. That's my grandmother and grandfather. That's my father, James Hartwell." Jennifer pointed to each person in turn. "And that's you, isn't it? Standing on the edge. You look about 15 in this photo." Rose's hands were shaking so badly that Jennifer gently took the phone back. Tears were streaming down Rose's face. "James," Rose whispered. "Jamie, my brother. How do you have this photo?" "Because James Hartwell was my father," Jennifer said softly, "which makes you my aunt. And Jasmine and Devon are my second cousins." Rose stared at Jennifer, her mouth opening and closing, no words coming out. Finally, she managed, "Jennifer, little Jenny, you're Jamie's daughter." "Yes, but you were just a baby when they..." Rose couldn't finish the sentence. "I was 5 when you left. I don't remember much about it, just that there was a lot of yelling and crying, and then you were gone. My grandparents never talked about you after that. When I asked where Aunt Rose was, they'd change the subject or leave the room. Rose wiped her eyes with shaking hands. They disowned me. I was 16, pregnant, refused to give up my baby. My parents said I was a disgrace to the family. Your father, Jamie, he tried to defend me, but they wouldn't listen. They gave me a choice: give up the baby for adoption and come home, or leave and never come back. You chose your baby. I chose my baby. Her name was Angela, your cousin. Rose's voice broke. She was beautiful, Jennifer, so beautiful. I worked 3 jobs to take care of her. It was hard, so hard, but I never regretted it. Not once. Angela is Jasmine and Devon's mother. Was. Angela and her husband died 2 years ago. Drunk driver. Rose's tears fell harder now. Angela was 38. She had 2 beautiful children and a good husband and a happy life, and some idiot took it all away in seconds. Jennifer reached out and took Rose's hand. I'm so sorry. After Angela died, I took the kids in. What else could I do? They're my grandchildren. They're all I have left of her. Rose squeezed Jennifer's hand. But I couldn't afford the apartment on my fixed income. Then I got sick, lost my job, lost everything. We ended up in that car 3 months ago. And you've been living like that ever since, taking care of 2 children while thinking you were dying. What else was I supposed to do? Let them go into the system? Get separated? Rose shook her head fiercely. I would live in 100 cars before I'd let that happen. Jennifer felt tears running down her own face now. You're one of the strongest people I've ever met. I'm a tired old woman who made a lot of mistakes. You chose love over comfort 40 years ago. You chose your daughter when your family rejected you. You chose your grandchildren when you could have let the state take them. Those aren't mistakes, Rose. Those are the bravest decisions anyone can make. Rose was crying openly now. I never thought I'd see anyone from my family again. I thought Jamie hated me. I thought you all forgot about me. My father never forgot you, Jennifer said. I found letters in his things after he died. Letters he'd written to you but never sent. He tried to find you, Rose. For years he tried. He wanted to apologize for not standing up to our grandparents more. He wanted you to know that he loved you, that he never stopped thinking about you. Jamie tried to find me? Yes. But you'd changed your name when you married, moved to a different state. He couldn't track you down. Jennifer paused. He died 10 years ago. Heart attack. He was only 56. Rose's face crumpled. Oh, Jamie, my big brother. I never got to tell him I forgave him. That I understood he was just a kid too, caught between his parents and his sister. I think he knew, Jennifer said gently. I think that's why he kept trying to find you. He wanted you to know that family was more than blood. It was choice, and he chose to love you even when he couldn't find you to tell you so. They sat in silence for a moment, both crying, both grieving the lost years and the family that had been broken by pride and stubbornness. Finally, Rose said, "So what now? You found me, you know the truth. What happens next?" Jennifer had been thinking about this all week, even before she'd discovered the family connection. Now? Now you and Jasmine and Devon come home. Home? I have a brownstone in Beacon Hill with 4 bedrooms. I live there alone. It's too big for one person, too quiet, too empty. Jennifer squeezed Rose's hand. Move in with me. Let me help you. Let me be family. Jennifer, we can't impose. It's not imposing. It's family. It's what my father would have wanted. It's what I want. Jennifer's voice became firmer. Rose, I've spent 30 years building a successful career and making money and accumulating things. And I've been miserable, lonely, empty. Then a 10-year-old girl offered me a hug in a hospital corridor and reminded me what actually matters. Jasmine has a way of doing that, Rose said with a watery smile. She does. She's wise beyond her years. And she deserves better than sleeping in a car and worrying about where her next meal is coming from. Devon deserves better. You deserve better. We're not your responsibility. You're my family. That makes you exactly my responsibility. Jennifer stood up. I'm not taking no for an answer, Rose. You're coming home with me. End of discussion. Rose looked up at her niece, this successful, accomplished woman who'd somehow found her way back to a family she didn't even know she'd lost, and nodded. Okay, we'll come home with you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Jennifer hugged her aunt for the first time in 41 years. Thank you for choosing love all those years ago. Thank you for raising Angela and for taking care of Jasmine and Devon. Thank you for teaching them to be kind and compassionate and wise. You did that, Rose. You made them who they are. Before we continue with what happened next, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button if this story is touching your heart. Drop a comment and tell me, do you believe in second chances? Have you ever reconnected with family you thought you'd lost? Share your story below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now, because stories like this, stories about redemption, family, and what really matters, this is what VickyTale is all about. Jennifer stood in her living room, watching Jasmine and Devon explore their new home with wide-eyed wonder. This is all yours? Devon asked, running his hand along the leather sofa. This whole big house? It's ours now, Jennifer corrected gently. Yours, mine, your grandmother's, Jasmine's. This is our home. Jasmine had been quieter than her brother, taking everything in with her usual serious expression. She walked over to Jennifer and looked up at her. Why are you doing this? She asked. We're just people you met in a hospital. Why would you give us a home? Jennifer knelt down to Jasmine's level. Do you remember when you asked if you could hug me? In the hospital that night? Jasmine nodded. You told me that your grandma said everyone needs somebody, especially when they're crying. You were right. I needed somebody that night. I'd lost a patient. I was drowning in guilt and loneliness, and you saw me. Really saw me. You offered me kindness when I felt like I deserved nothing but punishment. But that was just a hug, Jasmine said. It was never just a hug, Jennifer replied. It was a reminder that I'm human. That connection matters more than success. That helping people is more important than making money. You gave me that gift, Jasmine. You and your grandmother and Devon. You gave me back my family. You gave me a purpose beyond just performing surgeries and cashing paychecks. Jasmine threw her arms around Jennifer's neck. I'm glad we met you, Dr. Hartwell. Call me Jennifer, or Aunt Jennifer if you want. We're family now. Aunt Jennifer, Jasmine tested the words, then smiled. I like that. Rose appeared in the doorway, looking healthier than she had in months. The sarcoidosis was responding well to treatment. She'd gained weight. The color was back in her face. Most importantly, the fear was gone from her eyes. The constant fear of where they'd sleep, what they'd eat, how they'd survive. The kids should probably start getting ready for bed, Rose said. It's almost 8. Their rooms are upstairs, Jennifer said. Second and third doors on the right. I had them set up this week. Jasmine, yours is purple like you said you liked. Devon, yours is blue with some sports posters. If you don't like them, we can change anything you want. The children raced upstairs to see their new rooms, their excited voices echoing through the house. Rose walked over to Jennifer. You didn't have to do all this. I wanted to. I haven't heard this house this alive in ever, actually. Jennifer smiled. It's nice. Really nice. Jennifer, I need you to understand something, Rose said seriously. I'm going to contribute. I'm not going to just live off your charity. Once I'm fully recovered, I'm getting a job. I'm going to help with expenses, with the kids, with everything. Rose, you don't have to. Yes, I do. For my own self-respect, I do. You're giving us a home and a second chance at life. The least I can do is pull my weight. Jennifer nodded, understanding. Okay, when you're ready, we'll figure it out together. But there's no rush. Focus on getting healthy first. Deal. Rose looked around the beautifully decorated living room. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why were you alone in this big house? You're beautiful, successful, kind. Why no husband, no children of your own? Jennifer sighed and sat down on the sofa. I chose career over everything else. Every relationship I had fell apart because I worked too much, cared too much about success, not enough about the person I was with. And after a while, I just stopped trying. It was easier to be alone than to fail at another relationship. That's lonely. It was. It is. But maybe not anymore. Jennifer looked toward the stairs where she could hear the children laughing. Maybe I get a second chance too. A chance to be part of a family, even if it's not the traditional way I imagined. Family is family, however it's formed, Rose said. Blood, choice, circumstance doesn't matter. What matters is love and commitment and showing up for each other. You sound like Jasmine, Rose laughed. She gets her wisdom from me, and from her mother. Angela was special, Jennifer. I wish you could have known her. Tell me about her. I want to know everything about the cousin I never got to meet. So Rose told her stories about Angela growing up, about her kindness and her humor and her fierce love for her children. About how she'd worked as a teacher, how she'd loved her husband deeply, how she'd been the best mother Rose had ever seen. And Jennifer listened, learning about the family she'd been denied, feeling the connections that had been severed decades ago slowly being rewoven. Jennifer walked into the hospital's administrative wing and knocked on the director's door. "Come in," Dr. Robert Harrison called. Jennifer entered and sat down across from the hospital director. "You wanted to see me?" "Yes, I wanted to talk to you about your request to cut back your surgical hours and expand the charity care program." Jennifer had submitted the proposal 2 weeks ago. She wanted to reduce her private practice surgery schedule by 50% and instead volunteer half her time to operate on uninsured and underinsured patients. Patients like Devon, who would have been transferred to County General if Jennifer hadn't intervened. "I know it's unconventional," Jennifer said, "but I've been thinking a lot about what really matters. I have more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. What I don't have is purpose beyond just accumulating more wealth and performing surgeries for people who can afford the best care." "You'd be taking a significant pay cut," Harrison pointed out. "I don't need the money. What I need is to make a real difference, to help people who can't afford someone like me, to use my skills for something more than just profit." Harrison studied her for a long moment. This wouldn't have anything to do with the homeless family you took in, would it? Jennifer smiled. It has everything to do with them. They reminded me why I became a doctor in the first place. Not to get rich, but to help people, to save lives, to make the world a little bit better. You know the board is going to fight this. Charity care doesn't generate revenue. Then I'll fight the board. This is important, Robert. There are thousands of people in this city who need medical care and can't afford it. People like Rose, who was misdiagnosed because County General is underfunded and overwhelmed. People like Devon, who almost died because he didn't have insurance. I can help them. I should help them. Harrison leaned back in his chair. You've changed, Jennifer. 3 months ago, you were all about building your practice, taking on the wealthiest clients, maximizing revenue. 3 months ago, I was miserable. I was successful and rich and completely empty inside. Jennifer paused. Then a 10-year-old homeless girl asked if she could hug me, and everything changed. She must be quite something. She is. She's wise and kind, and she sees the world more clearly at 10 than I did at 46. She taught me that kindness doesn't cost anything, but it's worth everything. That real wealth isn't measured in bank accounts, that helping one person can change everything. Harrison was quiet for a moment, then nodded. Okay. Okay? I'll approve your proposal. 50% charity care, 50% private practice. We'll make it work. Really. Really. Because you're right, we should be doing more to help people who can't afford care. And if one of the best cardiac surgeons in Boston is willing to volunteer half her time, who am I to stand in the way? Harrison smiled. Besides, your story is inspiring. The surgeon who took in a homeless family and discovered they were long-lost relatives. The hospital could use more stories like that. Jennifer stood up and shook his hand. Thank you, Robert. You won't regret this. I don't think I will. Now go home to your family. I'm sure they're waiting for you. Jennifer sat in the audience at Jasmine's school, watching as her niece stood on stage to receive an award for academic excellence. Jasmine had thrived over the past 6 months. Good food, stable housing, consistent schooling. She'd blossomed. She was at the top of her 5th grade class, involved in student council, making friends. Devon was doing well too. His asthma was under control with proper medication and monitoring. He'd joined a youth soccer league and was making up for lost time in school. Rose had recovered fully from the sarcoidosis. She'd found a part-time job at a local community center, working with other families experiencing homelessness, helping them navigate the system and access resources. She was using her own experience to help others, and she loved it. As for Jennifer, she'd never been happier. Her house was full of noise and laughter and life. She came home to family dinners and homework help and bedtime stories. She'd cut her work hours and started focusing on patients who truly needed her, not just those who could pay the most. She'd performed over 50 surgeries in the past 6 months on uninsured patients, saved lives that would have been lost if those patients had been turned away or transferred to overcrowded public hospitals. And it felt better than any $1 million surgery she'd ever done. After the ceremony, Jasmine ran over with her certificate, beaming with pride. Did you see, Aunt Jennifer? I got the highest grade in my class. I saw, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. Jennifer hugged her tight. My teacher said I should think about becoming a doctor when I grow up, like you. You can be anything you want to be, Jasmine. Doctor, teacher, lawyer, astronaut. The world is open to you now. I think I want to be a doctor, so I can help people like you helped us." Jennifer felt tears prick her eyes. "That's a beautiful goal." Rose and Devon joined them, all smiles. "Dinner at home, or should we celebrate by going out?" Rose asked. "Home," Jennifer said immediately. "I want to hear all about Jasmine's award over your famous spaghetti." "Home it is," Rose agreed. As they walked to the car together, her family, her second chance, her greatest blessing. Jennifer thought about that night 6 months ago. The night she'd lost Marcus and thought her world was ending. The night a 10-year-old girl had asked, "Can I hug you?" and changed everything. She'd been looking for success in all the wrong places: money, status, professional acclaim. None of it had filled the emptiness inside her, but family did, love did, purpose did, making a real difference in people's lives did. Jasmine slipped her hand into Jennifer's as they walked. "Aunt Jennifer." "Yes, sweetheart." "Are you happy?" Jennifer looked at this remarkable child, the girl who'd saved her life just as surely as Jennifer had saved Devon's, and smiled. "Yes, Jasmine, I'm happier than I've ever been." "Good, because you look happy now. That first night at the hospital you looked so sad. But now you smile all the time." "You know why I smile?" "Why?" "Because you taught me what really matters, not money or success or fancy houses. What matters is love and family and helping people. You taught me that kindness is free but priceless, that sometimes the poorest person can teach the richest person everything they need to know." Jasmine thought about this seriously. "Grandma says we teach each other. That's how life works. Everyone has something to teach and something to learn." "Your grandma is absolutely right." They reached the car. Devon was already chattering about soccer practice. Rose was making a grocery list on her phone for dinner. Jasmine was clutching her certificate like it was made of gold. And Jennifer realized that this ordinary, beautiful, chaotic family moment was worth more than every surgery she'd ever performed, every dollar she'd ever made, every accolade she'd ever received. A homeless girl had asked, "Can I hug you?" And in that simple embrace had given a lonely millionaire the greatest gift imaginable: a family, a purpose, a second chance at life. And Jennifer would spend the rest of her life making sure that Jasmine, Devon and Rose knew just how much they'd saved her too. If this story touched your heart, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, hit that like button. Let us know this story mattered to you. Second, drop a comment below and answer this question. What does real wealth mean to you? Is it money in the bank, or is it the people you love and the lives you touch? Share your thoughts. Share your story. Third, subscribe to VickyTale and hit that notification bell, because every week we bring you stories like this. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that it's never too late to change. That family can be found in the most unexpected places. That sometimes losing everything helps us find what we should have been looking for all along. Because Jasmine was right when she said we teach each other, we save each other. That's how the world works best. Real wealth isn't what you have in your bank account. It's who you have at your dinner table. It's who you come home to. It's who you'd sacrifice everything for, without a second thought. Rose sacrificed comfort for her daughter 40 years ago and never regretted it. She sacrificed everything for her grandchildren and kept them together when the system wanted to separate them. Jasmine sacrificed her own comfort to carry her brother 2 miles to save his life. She sacrificed her own sadness to comfort a stranger who was crying. And Jennifer? She finally learned that the greatest success isn't measured in surgeries performed or money made. It's measured in lives touched, in love given, in families built from broken pieces. A 10-year-old girl asked, "Can I hug you?" and taught a millionaire surgeon what money can never buy: connection, compassion, family, purpose. That's real wealth. That's what matters. That's the truth this story wants to leave with you today. Now go out there and be someone's Jasmine. Be the person who offers a hug when someone is crying. Be the person who chooses kindness over comfort. Be the person who teaches others what really matters. Because we all have something to teach and something to learn. And sometimes the person we help ends up being the person who saves us. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next story.